Okay, we can wait for 2 or 3 minutes, then we can start. Okay, so today is day 3 of our full stack .NET course. In the last class, what we can cover, we can make a new crowd operation with the help of interface and services. So here we can make interface and services. After in the last, I think we can injected our services here with the help of add scope. We can use add scope and just here. In the next, you can see here for now, if you can check here, here directly in the return type we are passing our domain model. So next thing is we can make all the things with the help of DTOs, and firstly we will understand why we use a DTOs, and next thing also we will cover why we use a async and await. So in today class, two topics we will complete. First one is I will add all the questions. Okay, this one YouTube text. Here I added all the questions. Okay, so today today we will cover what is the DTOs, what is DTO, and why we use DTO. With the help of practical application we can make. Next thing is we will cover in this today project why we use async and await. Async and await. So firstly I will move this. Okay. Okay. First one is why we use a DTO. So first thing is GTO is a, you can read the definition from anywhere. In the GTO we can add only fields that we actually want. For example, I will explain you with the help of simple example. For example, in your user table, you have a, for example, 20 fields. There are 20 fields: name, username, last name. But you want only a name. So that time you can, with the help of DTO, if we don't use a DTO, so we need to fetch all 20 fields from the database. So that time, if we don't use DTO, firstly, you can fetch all the data, all the 20 fields from the database. So it will also impact your performance rather than fetching only one field or 20 field. So we can, when we want like that way only name, so this is also we can do with the help of DTO. So we can make a separate DTO, for example user DTO, and where I can add only the name, public public string name, and easily we can get only that field rather than fetching all the records from the database. So first thing that will be clear for this, it will helps to improve the performance. And the next thing will be when you have a sensitive data, for example your user table have also have a password. So in the swagger, in the directly we don't show our password. So that time in the response, in when you can add a new record or you can get via user ID, so we can in our database have a this field, because when you can create a new user we will add the functionality, you can add the username and password, but in the response we can't show the password. So no one will access the password because this is a sensitive data. So when we want a safe and limited data, that time we can use a DTO. So these are the hide the sensitive data like password and token, improve performance that I already covered. We don't show our sensitive data in the publicly, and it's like in a .NET Core in any latest project we don't directly show our domain model. So user, this is our domain model. So we don't show this domain model directly in our Swagger or in controller. We can show these request and response. If we want a request, so we can make a separate request like user request and to user response, and we can communicate with the help of users rather than directly passing our in the response our this domain table. So it will like also helps to implement the clean architecture, and it will helps to improve the performance. Only you can only get the field that you are actually want, and so we can implement this. Let me create a new project. This is the last project we can done. Okay, anyone have any question, so you can message me here. So here same we can take a project ASP.NET Core Web API. All the steps will be same. We can give the name here, CRUD operation with DTO. Next thing is same version we are using here. Okay, where we can make. Okay, so here we are choosing .NET 8.0 and click on the create button. And what is the full form of DTO? DTO means data transfer object. So this is also important question in .NET interview. So I will add it here. What is the DTOs and async and await? This also we will cover. So simply we also do in the practically, but simply it helps to improve the performance, and only we can show our like which data we want to show in the front end, that we can add it in our DTO rather than passing our domain model directly. And in the security purpose also we can use the DTO. And it also helps to implement the clean architecture. When we can implement clean architecture, we can use GTO so that we all the things in a clean way we can add. So in the last project, if you can see, we can install three packages. But for now, for mapping, for using this DTOs, we need to install one package that is called a automapper. With the help of automapper, we can we can connect to our source to our destination. Source will be our domain table. For example, when you are passing data, for example, it's not added here. I will give you a simple example here. Okay. For example, in the first request, for example, your user request video. That time, how will be mapping your you can get data from your user request in the Swagger UI. We can pass this request video, and in the our what is our domain model? Domain model will be a user. So in the database table will be a user. So what we can do, we can source will be a source code get from the this request, and our destination will be a is where you can create the user or a user domain model that you can created in your database. So doing this mapping, we need to install one new package that is the automapper. So go there. Same step we can follow here. In the first, we will install EF4. Sorry, not here. Manage package solution. Okay. First step is we need to install first package EF core, and this is the most important question in any .NET interview, why we use the EF core. So EF core, I already explained you, this is used to make a secure connection between your database and your application. It is like a bridge between your application and database, and it will track all the changes. It will do if you want to update, read, get by ID, all the things it will handle by AF core, and it will convert all the raw like C sharp objects code that we can write here in a raw SQL queries when it goes to a SQL server or any new, another server you are using. For example, also support another databases, for example, PostgreSQL, MongoDB. So for now, we can use same SQL server. I can select here, and here I will choose the version 9.0.10. So every time when you can choose one version, so another one after that when we can install for tools, or so that time you can need to follow this, because sometimes it will give the error of mismatch. And I think okay, so here I can use the .NET 8 version, and latest .NET version will be 10, I think, but that version not provide a pre-built Swagger. That's why I'm using this. So it's your choice. If you want to use latest, so you can also use that version also. Only there are some updates that version, but this also all okay for if you are just starting .NET journey, or because it will provide all the Swagger UI, you don't need to add yourself. So if you latest version you can add 9 or 10. So you need to install this Swagger package, and after that I think you also need to register here in the program.cs file, this one, use Swagger, add Swagger, and these things you need to add by yourself For now we can make it simple. That's why we are using same. So we can install this one package EF core. Second one is the tools. So tools, why we use tools is used to add the migrations, because in the migration, like I get one answer why we use a DV context file. So in the DV context file, it is the main file of Microsoft Anti Framework core, and we can add our all the tables that we can actually want in the database here in the SQL server. Let me open here. So if you are not added any table here, in you can see, if I not added any table, for example, I can make any table and not added here. So that time I will get the empty migration. I think I get one comment. I will clear for you. For example, I will add here one new class, user. I added this class, and for example, I will take a two fields, these three fields, and not added here. I can't add it here. So that time I will add the migration. So migration will be empty. Nothing I will get. So adding migration will be like that way. For example, in the SQL, you can make a query to create a new table. So same like that way, it will created via EF core. So if I not added in the DB context file, if you can inherit it here. So this is the class that is provided by Microsoft.NT framework for DB context. So it is represent the session. All things will be handled by this unit of work, and all the like track changes. So it will also provide us DV set. Inside the DV set, we can pass T entity, means we can pass our entity. And another like builder, this is for the configuration. If you want to implementation for the one to one relationship, one to many, and many to many relationship, that all things you can declare here. So let me add here migration. So if I can't added this table, user table here. So in this time, if I added any migration, so that migration will be empty. So I will add user table. I think this is something missing in your system. Like you need to first take this server name in your system. There will be a different server name. So you need to choose this local host, and if your system will be ABC anything name, so you need to copy that name, and that will be a different in every system. For now in my system, I will set local host. So it's your choice. You also set here local host. So you need to fix that. All the connection strings, try to run it. It's showing error stating JSON file. So I think you can check from here this file. Here you can write anything wrong. So first one is what we can write here. Only four things we can add here. Server means which database name that we can get from here. This is any name you can give here. Integrated security, you can check the spelling is correct or not. And after adding this DV, that name we can give here. Same name we need to add here in the program.cs file. So you can see here, after adding the DB context, here I can get these connection string that we can add in the app setting.json file. Same I can get here with the help of builder.configuration.get connection string. Here I can pass this value. So if you are pass any other value, that time also giving you same error. So you can check these things. I think that if you can fix this, it will not give any error. Okay. So for now, you can see here, we can added this migration add user table. So you can see here, now I can get empty migration, nothing will be showing here. So that's why we need to add here in our application DB context. So now I can add you here. So after that I will add the migration, so all the fields will be created here, so it will added all the in the migration. So by default AF core automatically convert ID to a primary key or a auto increment, name will be a string or email will be a string. So this table will be a created, and table name will be a user that we can add it here. So here we can give the table name user, so this name will be created in your database. So let's check again. Firstly I will remove this migration that we can add it above, this empty migration. Okay, again I can add migration. Okay, now you can see here it will create the table name is users. This is the table name. It will same like you are writing or creating any row SQL query. Sorry, you are writing a row SQL query to create a new table. So this is provided by EF core when it goes to here in the SQL server. So EF core automatically it will create a like convert to a row SQL query. So these all things will be handled by EF core. Before that, when we are not using or in a previous legacy projects, we can write a row SQL query directly here. So this is the benefit of EF core. EF core we don't need to write like long row SQL queries. That's difficult to manage. We just add here this keyword public DB set, and inside this we can add that table. So it automatically created this migration. So and after that, if you want this table in the database, you just run one command update database and it will create it in the database. So that's why I am asking. It's a most important question. If you are not able to answer this question, so it's very rare chance you can clear any .NET interview. Okay, our next step is what we can install here tools. Microsoft Anti Framework Core. Same version we can use here 9.0.10 and install this package. And mainly why we use tools is used to add migration and update database. To run these query, these all commands via tools. And next one is we can which server database we are using. For example, for now we are using SQL server. So these package will be common that we can install in the starting. In the new today what we can do, we can install one new package that is a automapper. So go to here. Here we need to search automapper for the mapping. So we need to install this one automapper.extension.microsoft.dependency injection, and you also install this. We can install this version 12.0.0. Okay. Okay, you can see here this package will be installed. Only this like Microsoft anti framework core, this package you can take the version will be same. So you can see here for the AF core, AF core.sql server, af_core.tools, we can set the same version. Because if you can take any another version, sometime it will give the error for mismatch. But for now, any another that is not related to af_core, that time you can use another versions also. Okay, is it clear? Anyone have any questions? So you can add here. Mm, okay, okay, okay. Yeah, you can try, and if you get any error, you can message me in LinkedIn or in WhatsApp. I will try to answer. Okay. Next thing is our second step will be a same. For example, here what we can do, same step we can follow here only today. What we can do, we can added only this new package here, this one. So I will add it here. This new package we can only install, all the things will be the same that we can do in the start. Second, the thing will be a connection string. So rather wasting time, we can just copy this, or if you want by yourself, it's also very easy. It will also help this Visual Studio to add the connection string. So simply you can write a connection string. Next thing is you need to give any name, string name that you can pass in the program.cs file. For example, for now I am give any name. For example, I can give a ABC for understanding. So this name we need to add in the program.cs file here when we can register. So we need to serve. First one is server. Server name where you can get. So you can get from the local host. Same thing. Okay, so okay, you have a, if any getting error, so you can check here. You can add any password or username and password. So if you for now I can't set any password here. So if you set any username and password, so here you also add that username and password to access, if you can add it here. So you can check in your system here, you can add it any username or password. For now I'm disable these things. So you can see here directly showing disable. So if in your system when you can install this SQL server you are enable username and password, so you need to add here that username and password. Okay, so you can check. That's why I am saying every system there will be a different, like we are creating connection with this. So you can check in your system what configuration will be added here. So same exact you need to add here. Okay, so first one is local host. Second one is we can added a database name, any name you can give here. For example, we can make the CRUD operation dv CRUD operation with DTO, or we can simply write DTO. And next thing, only for field we need to add here, integrated security is equal to true. Okay. We need to add inside these commas, not outside. Integrated is equal to true. Next one is trust server certificate is equal to true. Trust server is equal to true. So here we can set all the basic configuration, so that we can write here, that will be a same. Next thing is what we can do, we can make a application db context file. Firstly I can create one table. For example, we will create one folder for the models. and I will give the name model product. And here you can give any name here, ID name or description. It's just for understanding. So we can take a few fields. Okay, we can make a table product, and now we need to same exact. I can copy from here rather than writing again and again. I just copy this, and here I can add it. So same next step will be a we can add a application DB context. This one we can add a step 3, and here we need to change something. Okay, Authorization. And remove this. I have only product table. So where we can get the product table, credit here with, and here also we will give here name this, and our DB context here same we are getting this with the help of EF core. Here we can make the constructor. It will do all the things like track all the changes. That's why we need to define this class. We need to inject this DB context options here. Inside this we can inject our DB context file. So these are the common thing. Next will be a we need to add this in our program.cs file. So here what we can write, same thing I can copy from here, or you can write by yourself. It will also provide you all the options. Same thing we need to register this here, but for now in the last project we can give the name dv, but for now in the app setting.json file here what we can do, we can give the name abc. So this name we need to add here in the program.cs file, that you can give exact. So inside this abc have save all the things like local host, database, integrated security. These all are saved in this string. So I can just copy this and paste this. So if I can add any name same exact dv, so it will also give you same error. So you need to match these names will be a same. So here all the things will be same. Firstly we will write builder.services add db context जो हमने like we are creating which db context file, and which यहाँ पे हम here what we can define here. Firstly we can define which db context file our, which db context we are using, and which connection we are using. So we are using db context file, application db context, and connection string that we can write inside this abc. Okay, so anyone like if you want another for like this one, if you are logging, so same like that way you can get from the connection. Like that way builder.configuration.get section, with the help of get section you can also get this section. So here we can write all the our configuration related work, for example your JWT related all the things, and same like that way we can get if we want to get in our services or in our controller. So like that way we can get with the help of I configuration. We need to inject in the constructor. Okay, so here all the thing will be same. Next will be a we need to add migration or update database firstly, and in the step 6 will be we will create an interface. But for now here we can add a next step, we can make a first DTOs, and rather than directly passing our domain table here in the interface, we can pass DTO. We can communicate with the DTO rather than directly give our domain model users or products that we can create. So next step will be a add migration and update database. So anyone have any question? Okay. Okay, I want to say that uh, this YouTube channel in a initial state, I need your support. So if you like this video, please like and comment here. So it's really motivates me to make the next video because I am also working. So sometimes it will be difficult to make a everyday life. So you can give me some motivation and add comment. So that's really motivates me, and you can give any support that you want to give this channel so that I can continue this, because this course will be, if I can start, so it will take a 2 or 3 month, but for now I will start for 1 month. So if I get a good response, so I will continue this for 2 or 3 month. Okay. Okay, all the thing we can set, can add here, add. Add product table. So you can see here it will be created name and description, and you can see here it automatically why it's convert into a decimal. Let me check here. Okay, here we need to change a string. So every time when you can create the migration, sometime it will be wrong. So every time when you can add the migration, you can check here. So here it's decimal, but I want a string, so we need to change here. So I can remove this migration. So you can see here name and description will be string, ID is a primary key or auto increment, and this is our table name that will be created in the database. Next step is we can add the migration, add update database, update database. Okay, so that means this table will be created in the database, and with this migration will be saved in our AF migration history table. So let's check this. This is our database name. Mm, I think this one correct with. So you can see here first one is a migration anti-framework migration history. So here goes all the migration. Like if you have added here 100 migrations, so all migration will be showing here. Same name that we can give the migration name, add product table, and this table will be created. Here we can add the three fields. So same three fields will be showing here. So anyone have any question or have any doubt? Okay. So next thing is what will be new. I can add here. Firstly, we will make a folder. After this, we can add a new step 6. We can create a folder, and in this folder I will give the name DTO, and inside this I will create two folder, request folder. This is also folder, and next one is the response folder. Okay. Here we will add the class product request. Okay, we can make the folder not directly this. First we will make the folder DTO. Inside this we can make the folder for the request. Like this is the clean way to write the code. If you can write directly, that's also working, but that is not a clean approach. So in the request, you can make a new class that we can already make this product variable, cut from here, and we can paste here. Okay, here we can when we are creating a new record, we don't need to give the ID because ID is the auto generator, auto increment. So we can take only two fields, ID and name. So this is used when we are adding new record. Same thing is when you are updating any record. So you can write this is for the add DTO. Next one is for the update. So when you are update, that time you want the ID. So we can make a separate for update. That time we can update any record because firstly we can get that record with the help of ID, then we can update. And for the response, we can make a simple response where we need all the these because in the response we also want ID, name, and description. Yeah, it is worth if you are planning to go in Azure DevOps for our DevOps roles. Very to Azure. Okay, AZ 900. If I have completed. Yeah, this is for the certification. You can add the certification in your resume anywhere, but you also have to know practical knowledge, not only get the certification. Okay, in the response, we want all the fields. So we can add here all the fields. Next thing is we will add here how we can map this table, because this is our DTO. This is the, you can say, logical table that we are want. But in the, what is our actual table? This is our actual table. Here we are adding data in the database, updating all the things will be with the help of this. Okay, so we need to convert these DTO in our product table. And for example, when you are getting any data from the database, that you can, how you can do, you can get data from the your model and you can give to your response. So these all mapping we can do with the help of this package that we can install automapper. So we can make a new folder here, automapper, and inside this we can add here product mapping profile class. So this is the step 7, mapping here. Okay, so we can add it here. So same like that way I can close other tabs, save. So you can see here it will be a, in the DB context will be provided by anti framework core DB context. Same here we can inherited the profile that is provided by automapper, and that package we can install. So here we need to insert one class that is called a profile. And where we can get this profile, with the help of, we need to install this package. And this is the main file of this automapper.profile. So it will do all the things, mapping, convert our DTO to a send data, all the things will be handled by this, same like that way. In the DB context, do all the changes, it will do the mapping. So for mapping we are using the DTO. So this is also important question in the interview. So what it will be do, 5 use mapper, I will add a comment. 5 use mapper. First one is to convert models to DTO model. To convert models to DTO models easily, or vice versa. You can say DTOs to our models, that we can do here, then you have a better understanding. Next thing is avoid a manual mapping. So if you are not using a GTOs, so that time you need to do a manual mapping. So it helps to write code cleaner way, helps to write code in a cleaner and maintainable way, and ensure it will not it will ensure we are not express our database entry directly. It will ensures that in API in API or in service we can't expose our database models directly to the outside world. So like that way, and it helps to follow to write a clean architecture. Okay, so how it will be work? Firstly, same thing we need to make here, like that way. Empty constructor we can make here. So what we can make here? Firstly, we will make here map, create map. For example, this one is a create map. There is your source, there is a destination. So you can map, meaning you are getting data from the source and you can convert to a destination. So mapper automatically map data from the source and destination classes. For example, here your user table, sorry, product table, and here your DTO. So we can do first this mapping. So how we can write here? Create map. Why we use a reverse map? It helps to do a ball direction. Data goes from product to DTO and DTO to product. I added here namespace. Product DTO. Okay, we have created product request DTO and DTO. This we can. So how it will be do data, and data goes to a source here. Source here, product, and destination will be a product DTO. So when it means we are getting data, and where it will be used, for example, get all API, get all products API. So that time we are getting our data from our domain table, from our SQL server, and we can passing these data. Sorry, this is not the request detail. For example, here we can use a response, not this product response detail. We are getting our data from the domain table and pass to our this detail. This is our destination. So we are getting data from database product table, and we will send data to client in the form of product response detail. Rather than directly sending this product table, we can pass in with the help of this. So this is for the add, and that time we can adding that time we can get that data from this DTO. For example, Here I can add here create map. Here I will give the name product, add DTO. So what we can do here, here we can get data from the product requests DTO and pass to our product. So data goes to a we can data. So what we can do, we can get the data from the client in the form of product request add DTO, and we want to save that data in the database in the form of product table. So these things same for the update. Same here, we are getting data from the client in the form of okay. And sometime if you want to data goes both direction, like you are not making separate is only one, so that time you also use the reverse map, so data will goes both directions, you don't need to write again and again. So like that way we are adding mapper, and it's a also very what's it and it's a very important question in .NET interview why we use a DTOs. Okay, so this is done for today class. In the next class we will make a mm, interface and services. In the interface and services we can try to use a async and await, and this is also important question in .NET interview that we will cover tomorrow. Okay, bye bye. If you like this video, please like, share, and comment. Okay, please you can comment for this video if this video will be helpful for you, or please connect tomorrow same timing 7 to 8. Okay, bye bye. Thanks. I really need your support. If you I get a good spot, I will try to continue this maximum 2 or 3 minutes, and it will be a free for everyone. Bye bye.